the audience, isn't she?
I'm pretty sure you can get it from there.
Thank you, Racheal.
I feel like you should write it forward.
That actually should have been, because like every single year I have to yell at my teacher, because it's always E.A.L or A.E.L. Next time.
Oh my word, that was hilarious. I'm like, wow.
E.A.L.
I know, I thought that was like part of her speech. I was like,
So did
okay.
I.
It's an icebreaker.
Okay, go ahead.
Is everybody good?
I got you.
This is a quote that I found from Eugene Nathaniel Butler. Sometimes your heart tells you to help someone find their way, but your mind tells you that someone needs to find their path on their own to grow. Sometimes your heart tells you to love someone who is not on the same page as you, but your mind tells you your differences will end up pulling you both apart. Sometimes your heart tells you to endure the cheating and abuse with the hope of change, but your mind says you know you deserve better. I'm an analytical thinker. I like to think with my head and ignore my emotions. The first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is how I think with my head, and then I'm going to tell you how others may not do as well when they think with their heart, and then how those people that do think with their heart think about people who think with their head. I said think a lot, but... I have always made decisions with my mind. I like to think things through and consider all the possibilities before I just jump to a conclusion or, just jump into it and come to random thoughts and whoever. But that's my brain. And those who think with their... Now that I told you about how I think, I'm going to tell you about how the opposite people will think. People who like to think with their hearts tend to get mushy, gooey, and muddle things up. The romantics. I can't tell you how many fights I've seen over someone who was jealous because that girl had cuter hairstyle. That boy was definitely checking out that other boy. And so... Also, it kind of leads to people who are biased. If you really like a friend and they're competing against someone else, even though that person could have been spot on 100%, you're still going to vote for your friend. And you're going to stick to it tooth and nail. Now, I'm going to tell you about what happens when people who think with their hearts meet people like me. They tend to call me cold-hearted and unsympathetic, judgmental, and bitch. And they just go on and on and on. But those names prove my point. They are the ones that judge me, and they get their facts messed up. I'm going to ignore everything that they said and step back, think where they're coming from, and say, okay, that's cool, and I'm just going to walk away from it. I told you guys how I like to think, how people who follow their emotions may get in trouble from that, and then I told you how they feel about me. I'll pick that up later. And I'm going to finish my quote, because I kind of flipped off. Your heart and mind sometimes disagree. Your fate will depend on whose advice you follow. Oops. I'm going to stick with my heart. Brain.